Alrighty, how we going? Can we hear me now? If we can get some confirmation on that. Just done a big spiel. Technical issues with the microphone. I'm hoping I've fixed it. I'm not sure. So hopefully we can get some confirmation on that. Oh, sorry, bear with me. Alrighty, how we going? Can we hear me now? If we can get some confirmation. Yeah, I think. Just done a bit. So I've got it working. Sound's working on my phone now, so hopefully you guys can hear me. Sorry about that. We'll start again, I guess. Yeah, sorry guys. Obviously, after a while off, my microphone decided to crack it. We've managed to get it resolved. So, welcome back to Football Forum. We go again. Hopefully you guys can hear me all right now. If you can, give us a like, give us a comment, talk to me, let me know you're about. And welcome back. That's a bit of an awkward start to our return, isn't it? So, as I was trying to say before, welcome back to Football Forum. We've got plenty to talk about: Premier League, Champions League, international football, other stories from around football. Some of the stuff we've got going on in Football Forum, we can cover some of that stuff. Some exciting stuff going on. Obviously, that's why I've had some time off to work on some things behind the scenes. Awkwardly, I have some time off to work on things behind the scenes. Come back and my mic's not working, but there we go. These things happen. And yeah, so as I was saying, so behind the scenes, I've obviously been working on getting some more content into the show, a little bit more knowledge, so it's more engaging to more people. So I've been talking to someone who, hopefully, fingers crossed, it looks good, will be coming on as a co-host. So we're going to have a chat over FaceTime or something like that. We're going to have a chat after the grand final weekend, the AFL grand final weekend. We're going to have a chat after that, talk some things out, get some things settled, and then once we're on the same page, we'll have a co-host, which will be awesome. So he sort of he's across some different leagues as to what I would usually watch. So he'll just give that a little bit more knowledge on some of the leagues that I don't follow as closely, like Bundesliga and stuff like that. So it'll be good to have him on board. We'll add him to the team. And then the big one, Twitch is working. As far as I know, I thought my mic was working, but that wasn't. But I'm pretty sure I've got Twitch fixed now. So that should help us grow our engagement and our community, which will then in turn allow me to get some of these interviews I've got lined up happening, that and whatever technical stuff I have to work out behind the scenes. But we're slowly getting there. From day one to now, we've made some progress, which is good. And yeah, so the show's progressing. So once we get co-host in and a few more people engaging, we can get some more interviews happening, we can get some different stuff going on, and give you guys a bit more variety on what we're covering, which will be awesome. Hopefully that's what you guys are after. But yeah, so that's what I've been working on while I haven't been doing the stream live. What else? Nearly forgot. Personal thing outside of football, I've signed up to do Run for Autism. So basically I'll be running 10 kilometers to raise money for charity, which will be going to the Autism Foundation Australia, raising money for those on the autism spectrum. So for those of you that don't know, my son Tyler, he is autistic. He has autism, and so it's a cause very close to my heart. And so I'll be running for autism October 31st to November 7th, I want to say. I'll double check that. But yeah, I haven't run in years, so it's going to kill me, but I'm going to run 10Ks for autism. If you'd like to support that, the link is down in the description. So if you'd like to support that, anything large or small is massively appreciated. It goes to a great cause. And even if you can't help financially, just sharing that link around is a massive help. Just raising awareness for the for autism. And yeah, that's what I'm up to. Probably doesn't help that I'm singing a beer at the moment. We'll call that pre-training. But yeah, so I'll be running for autism. And yeah, so that's another thing that's been going on. And then outside of that, we've got lots and lots of football. We've got Premier League, we've got Champions League, we've got international roundup, and obviously Premier League coming up this weekend to cover as well. So let's get into it, shall we? I'll start again. given what's going on with the microphone. So obviously the first game of the weekend was Palace Tottenham. Now this was a cracking game. I don't know if any of you guys happen to watch the game. Absolutely cracking game. Palace played really, really well. They controlled the game. They end up winning the game 3-0. Conor Gallagher plays another amazing game, the loanee from Chelsea. He's ended up getting the Player of the Month for Palace. But Palace absolutely controlled Tottenham. And for me, the big thing that was missing, Heung-min Son for Tottenham. They had Harry Kane up top. They had, a lot of their good players were there. But Heung-min Son, without him being there, it just seemed like that link from back to front wasn't as crisp and dangerous as it was last season. So big miss for them. Puts an end to their perfect run, and they're the last team in the league that had that perfect record. So that's that gone. Nobody in the league has won every game now. Tottenham absolutely just outplayed from start to finish as well. From kickoff to the end, Palace were in control the whole time. They didn't really look like they were ever in danger. They controlled the game really well. Zaha played really well for the first time in a while. And all in all, Palace were impressive, which was surprising given how they've been the first few weeks of the season. So, well done, Palace. Really good game for them. Really good result. And obviously, Tottenham are going to be needing to bounce back from that. Next game, Arsenal-Norwich. Arsenal not looking impressive at all. They did get the 1-0 win. Aubameyang did get the goal. But, against a Norwich team that's been struggling, you'd expect more. You'd expect more from Arsenal. Aubameyang scores in the 65th minute. I'm just looking at my notes because I've got a lot of stuff to cover. So if you see me looking down, my bad. I've got all the Premier League games to cover, Champions League, international games, plus previews. So I've got a lot of notes. But yeah, Arsenal not really that impressive. I think the possession from what I saw of the game looked to be about even. Don't get me wrong, Arsenal had a lot of shots, but for the amount of shots they had, I don't think that many were on target. They deservedly won. Let's not pretend they didn't. They did deservedly win, but they didn't win in a way that fills me with confidence that they're going to crack on and get good results from here on out. They still look like they're struggling. They still don't look like a complete Arsenal team. And again, similar to Norwich. Norwich, I'm not that impressed with. I thought Norwich done well in the I thought Norwich done well in the transfer market. I thought they brought in some really good players, Billy Gilmore included in that. And I thought they were going to crack on and do all right, and they're not looking good at all. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out for Norwich as well. Arsenal are now clear of the relegation zone, but there's one game clear. Another loss and results going not their way. They're back in that battle again. I know we're only 4 games in at the moment, but that's not where Arsenal want to be at any point of the year. Not a great game to watch, to be honest. It wasn't that engaging. Next game, Brighton Brentford. Brentford finally lose their first game in the Premier League. I feel sorry for them. They've come in and done a really good job starting out. 4 games into the Premier League season, they finally lose their first game. I'm sure they're still going to be happy with how they've started the league, how they started the season, especially being their first time in the Premier League, to come straight in and beat guys like Arsenal. They'll be absolutely wrapped. But Brighton done a good enough job to win the game. It was an okay game. Brighton will be happy with the result. Brentford will be a bit disappointed. But yeah, it's not ideal. Not ideal for Brentford, for Arsenal, Eddie. So Arsenal bottom 6, top 4 clubs too strong. It's not ideal for Arsenal at the moment, Eddie. I don't know what's going on there and what their dramas are. Thanks for liking the stream, by the way, Eddie, and it's good to see you back in here, mate. I hope you're doing well. And thanks for the support on the Run for Autism, mate. I really appreciate that. I don't know what the missing link is for Arsenal, mate. I don't know what it is. And like I said, even against Norwich, they get the win. They have loads of shots, but it still wasn't convincing. But anyway, City managed to edge out Leicester. I mean, a decent result. City obviously still without a striker. So, I don't know. They're a funny one as well, City. They're up and down every week. They spent 2 weeks absolutely smashing. And I'm like, oh, they seem to have resolved the problem. And then they go out to Leicester and they struggle. I mean, Leicester are a good team, but they struggle. They do get the win, which will be a massive boost to them. I mean, I say they struggle. They had maybe 60% of the ball. Plenty of shots. It could have easily been more, but the fact is they only win 1-0. And it's one of them ones. Does City not having a striker stop them from winning the league this year? I don't know. I'm not saying it will, but it's definitely a question to be asked because there's been a few games where they've lacked that clinical edge to finish off a game. So does that come back to bite them? I guess we'll have to wait and see. United Newcastle. Now this game, obviously, I would imagine, I haven't seen the numbers, probably the most watched game in Premier League history with the return of Ronaldo absolutely dominating the storylines. I mean, for those of you that watched it on Optus Sport even had a Ronaldo cam where you could just follow Ronaldo around the pitch for 90 minutes. It was literally a Ronaldo cam, which is insane. Obviously, he dominated the headlines. And for the first half, I'll say it, don't shoot me. For the first half, Ronaldo was average. He was bang average. I think he had like a 56% pass accuracy. He didn't play that well at all. He didn't play like the GOAT at all. But having said that, he gets that goal at the end of the first half. I thought it was stiff. I mean, it was obvious. There was nothing wrong with the goal. It definitely was a goal. I just felt sorry for Newcastle. I thought they defended really well. I thought Newcastle actually looked the more promising to score, especially on the counter against United. I thought Newcastle for large parts of that first half were the more promising team. And Ronaldo just picked up the crumbs from a simple goalkeeper error. Really unfortunate. And that sort of was the catalyst. Andrew Kameni's now following. Thank you for following us, Andrew. Hope you're doing well, mate. Eddie McCullum Sr. Manager is too young in career, mate. Too raw. Same as Lampard at Chelsea. Need a quality manager, not a project. Yeah, no, there's definitely a case for that, Eddie. No doubt about that. And I think the difference, though, with the situation with Lampard and the situation with Arteta, Lampard still had an experienced older staff above him and around him, should I say. Arteta, a lot of the criticism at Arsenal at the moment is that whole leadership structure is nowhere near experienced enough to be in the positions they're in. So there's definitely a big case to say that that's the issue, and there seems to be a lot of people that seem to think that that's the case as well. But I mean, at the moment, it seems like they're going to stick with him. It looks like the owners aren't too fussed about winning silverware or anything like that. So it could be a long few years for Arsenal fans. It could be a very, very long few years for Arsenal fans. But yeah, back to that United-Newcastle game. I thought, as I was saying, Newcastle for the first half especially, much more promising team of the two, in my opinion. Ronaldo gets that goal sort of just before half-time. 1-0 at half-time doesn't really reflect the play, in my opinion. Second half, Newcastle come out, get that equaliser, and they were still looking really good at that point. And then that beautiful, and it was beautiful, ball through for Ronaldo. He runs through, and you know when Ronaldo's running through like that, you know what's coming. It was a great goal. It was a great goal, and it sort of, you could sort of see the Newcastle heads drop. It was, I mean, even as a neutral, it sort of felt like Newcastle could do everything right and still not get the result they needed to get. So credit to Ronaldo, absolutely cracking goal. United go on, win 4-1 from there. Fernandes scores an absolute belter as like a reminder that, hey, I'm still here. Absolute belter of a goal. And Lingard, when he comes on as well, he scores another goal. United end up winning 4-1. Does 4-1 fairly... I don't think 4-1 represents that game fairly. I thought Newcastle deserved more than they got, but at the end of the day, that's a result. And after Ronaldo's second goal, Man United definitely did take control of the game, and they definitely did deserve to win. But I just thought 4-1 was a bit stiff on Newcastle. I thought they played well up until that second goal for Man United. Eddie Senior, same with Man U. Ole can't win in Europe, poor football. Yeah, we'll get to that, Eddie. We'll get to that. Young boys, mate. All my days. But anyway, Andrew, I don't know why Arteta didn't give a chance to Saliba. Then he went and bought Ben White for £50 million. Who knows what's going on behind the scenes, Andy? I couldn't tell you, mate. I couldn't tell you what's going on there. But to be fair, mate, Ben White isn't looking like a massive improvement at the moment, is he? I mean, he's getting used to a new system and a new manager and all that sort of stuff. But you look at Varane, instant impact on Man United. You look at Virgil van Dijk when he came into Liverpool, instant impact. Thiago Silva at Chelsea, first game, balls up, fair enough. But from the second game onwards, absolutely quality, instant impact at Chelsea. Ben White hasn't come in and done the same thing. Obviously, Ben White was never claimed to be at that level, but 50 million is not cheap, and you'd expect him to come in and have some sort of an impact. The results also, obviously he's a defender, he's only got influence over so much of the game. Not saying it's his fault, but I'm just saying for 50 million, not that impressive really. But, that's my opinion. In other news, Southampton, West Ham. I don't know if any of you guys seen this, but West Ham seem to be tailoring off a little bit. I mean, we'll get to their European result in a minute, but a nil draw against Southampton, for me, was a bit of a surprise, given the absolute romping start that West Ham got off to. I was very surprised to see them draw that game. I thought West Ham would go out, win comfortably. Southampton at home can be a tough team. Don't get me wrong, they can be tough to break down when they're defending and all that sort of stuff. But I was really surprised West Ham didn't go there and dominate. I really was. And then obviously, to make things worse for West Ham, Mikel Antonio gets a second yellow card and sent off at the end of the game there in the 94th minute. So West Ham will be going into this weekend's fixtures, no Antonio. So that's not going to help him, is it? Brian, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. How you think Newcastle will go tomorrow morning? No Wilson for a few months injured. We'll get to that in a minute, Brian. If you heard me talking about did you hear me talking about the Man United Newcastle game just before, Brian? But yeah, so West Ham going into this weekend, Antonio suspended. Not ideal for them, especially the form he's been in. Andrew, Dean, what do you think of Arsenal's goal against Norwich? It was a decent enough goal. It's not going to set the world on fire, but it was a decent enough goal. Auba needs to start scoring. He's just coming off his lowest ever scoring season, so the fact is he needs to start scoring goals. Any goal he can get is going to be a good one, isn't it? So, Brian, nah man, wasn't in. Yeah, so Brian, I was just saying, I thought 4-1 was a really stiff result for Newcastle. I thought for most of the first half and for the start of the second half, Newcastle were probably the better team in terms of how dangerous they were looking, especially on the counter. And don't get me wrong, after Ronaldo scored that second goal, Man United started to take control of the game really well. I mean, Fernandes scored an absolute belter. You can't deny that. But yeah, I don't think 4-1 was a fair reflection of that game. I do think Man United deserved to win the game, all in all. But I thought 4-1 didn't really fairly reflect how tough a game Newcastle made that for them. But yeah. Watford Wolves. If Mr. Stephen Birch is about, I'm not sure if he is, he will be very happy with the outcome on this one. So Watford Wolves get themselves a 2-0 win. decent result for Wolves. They'll be happy. 3 points is always good. And their new guy, He-Chan, he gets himself on the scoring board, which is great as well. So Wolves ticking along nicely. Played a nice game against Watford. First half was fairly 50-50. First half, to be fair, could have gone either way. It was a very open-ended game. Wolves end up in the second half running over the top and getting a good win. Brian, completely agree, bro. I think it flattered them. 2-1 would have been good. 2-1 would have been fair, yeah. 3-2 even. If you didn't have Joe Linton up front, Joe Linton couldn't hit water if he fell out of a boat, but that's another story. But yeah, I thought you guys played really well, Brian. So yeah, Wolves, good 2-0 win. I'll skip over the Chelsea game. We'll come back to that. And then we've got Liverpool, 3-0 against Leeds. Probably no surprise there, really. Liverpool are sort of starting to find their form. Yeah, they struggled against us when we defended with 10 men. But as a lot of people have pointed out, we're probably the best defensive team in the world right now. If not, we're right up in that conversation. Absolutely no doubt about it. So in a lot of ways, I think that red card played against Liverpool. When they played against us, I thought that red card played against them because we just sat deep and said, bring it. And it just denied them the space they needed to do what they wanted to do. Liverpool seem to play much better when they get those spaces in behind and they can make those runs in behind. And Leeds are going to give you that. And it played right into Liverpool's hands at the end of the day. The red card for Leeds also didn't help matters. But a good, comfortable win for Liverpool. And again, a good example of why I had them as favourites coming into this season. Just a good professional performance. What more needs to be said, really? Second last game, because we'll do Chelsea Villa last, so you guys don't think I'm biased and straight to my team. Everton 3-1 versus Burnley. I'm pretty okay with that result. Burnley can be a very, very tough team to play against. They're a very physical team. Everton as well don't mind being a bit physical, so it doesn't surprise me that Everton are one of the teams that match up quite well against Burnley in this case. It is worth noting, Burnley did go ahead first. Burnley went 1-0 up and then go on to lose 3-1. They were ahead for, hang on, let me look at my notes. 6 or 7 minutes, if my notes are accurate. They were ahead for 6 or 7 minutes. And then Everton, quick fire 3 goals. 59th minute, 64th minute, 65th minute. 65th, is that what I've put? Yeah, 65th minute. So, quick fire treble, bang. Absolute domination, 3-1 win from a 1-0 down. All in all, a good game, actually. It was quite end-to-end. Both teams probably had a fairly even amount of shots. Both teams probably had a fairly even amount of possession, but at the end of the day, Everton's quality of players came through, and they come away with a good win there. And the final game to recap, Chelsea Villa. Chelsea come out, 3-0 win. I make it sound quite routine when I say it like that. First half, Villa made it so hard for us. And to be honest, if not for Mendy, we probably would have been in a bit of trouble. It was a tough first half. I was stressing. I'm like, we're going to come out here and really struggle to get a result against Aston Villa. It didn't look pretty. Having said that, we did get the break before. Well, we got the break fairly early on, 15 minutes in. Romelu Lukaku, beautiful little cut back right foot finish, 1-0. From that point on until half time, not pretty at all. We were scrambling back, and Villa had us on the back foot, no doubt about it. Villa absolutely had us on the back foot, but we held out. Our defence is good at doing that. We held out, and come second half, Mateo Kovacic, magic. If you haven't seen the second goal, Lukaku again. Mateo Kovacic. He's pressing Villa nice and high up in their area. Mistake. I think it was Tyrone Mings off the top of my head. Mistake. Tries to play a pass back to the keeper. Not heavy enough. Kovacic just keeps running through. Dinks it into the far post. Good goal. But the real magic is on the third goal. please, if you haven't seen it, Lukaku's second goal, Chelsea's third goal against Villa, get on and have a look, man. So Kovacic gets the ball under pressure, skips around two guys deep in our half, skips around two guys, plays one of the best through balls I've seen in a long time. Absolute killer through ball. Lukaku, touch, bang, top corner from just outside the box. Really nice goal. Lukaku getting all the credit. Kovacic, absolutely sensational dribbling. What he's really good at. Probably, for me, against Villa, probably Kovacic's best game in a Chelsea shirt. Absolutely smashed it that game. Really did smash it. In the end, we come out comfortable 3-0 wins. But like I said, first half of Villa, I feel sorry for them because they really, really pushed us in that first half. 2 seconds. Drink break. Don't forget, guys, if you are in here watching, give us a like, say hello in the chat, all that good stuff. I've got a moth flying around my head. Sorry about that. And, yeah, interact. I want to catch up with you guys. So let's have a look at the preview. So, Mr. Farmer, if you're still about, we'll get to your question. So the Callum Wilson situation for Newcastle against Leeds, I think not ideal for Newcastle. Not by a long shot. Leeds are going to give you opportunities to score goals. Leeds are going to give you opportunities to get in behind. I wouldn't want to be relying on Joel Linton to score those goals. I just don't trust him. And I think most Newcastle fans would be feeling fairly similar. He doesn't have a high scoring output. Callum Wilson does give you that assured finisher. Having said that, you've got players in Newcastle that can pop up and score goals. I think this game has got the potential to be a cracker. I really think this game's got the potential to be an absolute cracking game. And it should be interesting. We'll see how it plays out. But I do think no Callum Wilson could be the difference between a win and a draw. I think we'll end up with a draw on that one. Maybe like a 2-2 or something, because Leeds do give you goals, but they're also a very good attacking outfit when they want to be. So I'm going to go 2-2 there. Wolves, Brentford. Wolves coming off a good result. Brentford coming off their first loss. I think Wolves will come out and get another good win here. It's at their ground. They've just got their first win on the table, which they desperately needed. And when you look at their starting fixtures, they haven't lost games because they've been playing high quality opposition. Leicester, Tottenham, Man United, first 3 games. The first proper game where you'd expect them to go out and get a result, they have done. And I think they'll do that again. I'm going Wolves 2-0 against Brentford. Norwich, Watford. I'm going to change my tune on Norwich. And you watch them win this week now. But I've tried to back Norwich for weeks and weeks, and they just haven't come good. I mean, again, they have had a tough run of fixtures. To be fair to them, they have had a tough run of fixtures. Losing to Arsenal, this current Arsenal team in the shape they're in doesn't fill me with confidence. Watford haven't been flying either, but I think Watford will come to Carrow Road and get an upset there. 1-0. Nothing big, I think just 1-0. Burnley, Arsenal. I absolutely 100% honestly believe Burnley will beat Arsenal. It's at Burnley. Burnley are a very physical, hard-to-play team. And when you looked at Arsenal playing Brentford and losing 2-0 to Brentford, they got bullied physically. They really struggled with the game. I think Burnley need to take a leaf out of that book, go and play Arsenal, go and be very physical, push them around and make them fight. And I don't know if this Arsenal team has that fight. I'm going to say Burnley are going to get a win there. Liverpool Palace. This has the potential for an upset. It does have the potential for an upset. Liverpool are in really good form. They're a very strong team. They're pretty much at full strength. And it's at Anfield. So I do think Liverpool will win. 100%. I'm not saying they won't. But what I will say is, from what I saw of Palace against Tottenham, Palace do have that potential to cause an upset. Win it, maybe not. Probably a draw. I think Liverpool win the game. Just to clarify, I do think Liverpool win the game. But Palace definitely have the ability to come in and cause an upset. No doubt about it. City Southampton. For those of you that haven't seen, this game's actually got Pep a bit worried. Pep has come out requesting all the fans to get down to the stadium, watch the game, blah, blah, blah. We need support. The boys are tired. Understandably. European games midweek and all that sort of stuff. But he said himself, Southampton are a hard game to play. And they can be. Southampton on their day can be a very, very tricky team. City should win. The question will come down to, can they work out getting a good result without their striker? Coming off their European performance we've just seen, 100% they can. Coming off the performances we saw the 2 weeks before this weekend, 100% they can. But we've also seen week 1 and this week, there's also some vulnerability there in their finishing departments as well. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I think City win the game, maybe like 2-1 or something like that, but I think Southampton will go there and make it very hard for them. Villa, Everton. I can't call this game. Draw. That's a bit of a cop-out, I know, but Villa played amazingly against us. They didn't deserve to lose 3-0. Burnley really put up a good fight against Everton, showed that they can be vulnerable. Villa are going to be a very similar sort of problem for Everton. They're going to come in and cause a lot of problems and be very physical and aggressive and all that good stuff. This is a tough game to call. I would love to hear some of your feedback on this. I think Aston Villa Everton has got the potential to be a really tough game. Again, Villa really took it to us, especially in that first half. They made it very, very tough for us. Really unfortunate not to score a goal, to be honest. They played really well. Everton obviously coming off a good turnaround. It's 1-1 draw. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. It's going to be that's a tough game to call. I'm interested to see how the bookies call that, to be honest. I don't gamble, but it will be interesting to see what the bookies reckon on that one. Brighton, Leicester. Leicester should win. And Leicester need to start getting some consistency happening. They've been very, very inconsistent. They need to start getting that consistency happening. They fell short 1-0 to City. It could have easily been more, though. Like, we've got to be honest. It could have easily been more. They need to start getting some consistency, and it needs to start with going to Brighton and beating Brighton. Leicester, if they're going to achieve what they believe they should be achieving, need to be winning these games against teams like Brighton. I think they will. I think they'll go there, maybe win 2-1. We'll see how that plays out, but they have to. They have to go there and get a result. Now, this game I was actually really excited for until Antonio red card came into play. West Ham, Manchester United at West Ham. If Mikel Antonio was playing, West Ham would win this game. I'm telling you, West Ham would win this game. United have not looked impressive, really, when you take into account who they've played, the position those teams are in. I don't think United's played anyone above 13th. Okay, so Man United have not played anyone above 13th on the table. They've struggled with a lot of those games, and a lot of this, I've got to say it, I feel come down to Ole. I feel like the squad they have should be doing much better than they are. Yes, top of the table. Okay, fair argument. Lost to young boys and struggled. Really struggled. I mean, they struggled against Newcastle for most of that match. Don't let the scoreline deceive you. Lose to young boys. They're not as impressive as I thought they were going to be, and they're struggling against tough teams. And West Ham at the moment are a very, very tough team. They're a very tough team. If Antonio was in that lineup and wasn't suspended through his red card, I truly believe West Ham at their ground would beat United. As it is, he's not. Maybe some Ronaldo magic pulls off a Man United win. I'm going to go for another draw. I think Man United are going to really struggle here. West Ham at their ground are going to be tough to beat. They're playing very, very well. Mikel Antonio is not the be-all and end-all for West Ham. They can still get results without him. It's just going to be harder for them to get the wins on the board without him, because he has been absolutely sensational. But then so's Ben Rama, so's Declan Rice. So it's going to be a good cracking game, that one. I think United will just edge it because Antonio is missing. But I really honestly believe if Antonio was in that game at West Ham win that game. And then what have we got? Oh, how could we forget? London Derby, Chelsea, Tottenham. And I am keen to play Tottenham at the moment. I'm very keen because they're not as strong as they have been in recent years. Heung-min Son, if he plays, makes a massive difference, and I'll be a bit more nervous. But Harry Kane, from what I saw on the weekend, as in the weekend just gone, not looking all that impressive. Tottenham are struggling at the moment to get results. They're getting wins, but they're getting 1-0 wins against teams that they should be beating for the most part, with the exception of City. That was a good result. We can't deny that. But again, even that game, without Heung-min Son, Tottenham don't win that game. So I'm keen for that game. I think we win that game. I think we go to Tottenham and we get a good win there. They'll give us trouble. They'll give us trouble for sure, 100%. And it won't be a massive win. I'm going to go 2-0. Say a 2-0 win for us. But it's actually one of the first times in quite a few years where I've been very confident going to Tottenham. And it could be the one that comes back and bites me in the butt. But we'll have to wait and see. But let's hear your predictions, especially for your own teams. What do you reckon for the weekend? So some cracking games. Tottenham, Chelsea. West Ham United, I think will be like West Ham Man United. I think that'll be a good game. Villa Everton, I think will be a tough game. What else have we got? If Palace played the way they just played against Tottenham, then I think Liverpool Palace could be a really good game. And Newcastle Leeds could be a really good game. But given the dismantling Palace just gave to Tottenham, I'm keen for that game. I fancy our chances on that one. So there's our Premier League wrap-up, Premier League preview. If there's anything you'd like me to go back over, let me know in the chat. If you are in here watching and you haven't engaged yet, YouTube, whatever it might be, drop us a comment, give us a like, get involved. I want to say hello. I haven't seen you guys for ages. It'll be nice to catch up. So get involved. Let me know. I can see you're watching. I just can't see who you are. So let us know. What else have we got to chat about? Champions League. It's been an interesting week in Champions League. There's been some good results, some weird results, quite a lot of red cards. We will get through the Champions League and then maybe look to start wrapping it up, because I do, unfortunately, have to work tomorrow, devastatingly enough. Stephen Birch, hi Dean. Hey Stephen, thanks for coming in, mate. Thanks for liking the stream. You just missed all my chat about Wolves, mate. We'll go back over that in a sec. Where is my notes gone? Sorry, give me a sec. I'm back up to speed on my notes as well. But yeah, Steve, how you doing, mate? Good to see you. Now following as well. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Champions League. Sevilla, Salzburg. That was a 1-1 draw. Red card for Sevilla. Really interesting game. Sevilla are obviously more known for their exploits in the Europa League than the Champions League, but they'll be happy getting a result against Salzburg. Stephen, all good? All right, we'll get to Wolves in a sec. But yeah, probably the thing to note is that, 2 first half goals for one, so it was 1-1 at half time. But Sevilla's red card came not long after the half-time break, 50th minute. So they've played quite a large chunk of that game a man down, and they've managed to hold out for a 1-1 draw. So I think Sevilla will be happy with that result given the circumstances. Wait until you hear all these red cards. For those of you that haven't followed the Champions League this week, all right, so Young Boys Man United, obviously, massive upset, lots of talk. United fans smashing Ole again. Young Boys come out and win 2-1. They went 1-0 down real quick. Ronaldo scored another goal. as Ronaldo does. Amazingly, interestingly enough, Man United lose this game, and still all the news I've seen from Man United supporters, the dream continues. Ronaldo scored, rah rah rah. I'm like, you guys lost. What are you doing? Anyway, Van Bissaka gets sent off in the first half, red card, and young boys come back, win the game 2-1. I mean, to be fair, Man United were away. That's about the only credit, and a man down. It's about the only credit I can give them. An insane substitution. Saw Ronaldo come off for Jesse Lingard. Lingard, unfortunately for him, because he's been in the form of his life, is the one that ends up giving up the goal in the 95th minute. Insane. United fans, I'm sure all the excuses in the world won't make them feel any happier about that result. Another red card, Lille versus Wolfsburg. Game ends up in a 0-0 draw. 67-minute, Josh Brooks, American striker, good player, gets sent off for Wolfsburg. Wolfsburg hold out again for a 0-0 draw. Lille will be disappointed with themselves in that one. I actually watched some highlights, and most of the highlights package for that game is Lille taking shots. Stephen Burke, schoolboy error. Yeah, if you're talking about I'm assuming you're talking about the Van Bissaka red card, or you're talking about you were talking about Jesse Lingard's assist. Sorry. Yeah, no. Not one I'd be happy with the under-16s at Pakenham, to be fair, mate. Shocking. But yeah, I watched the highlights package for the Wolfsburg-Lille game, and pretty much all the highlights were Lille popping shots. So they'll be disappointed they didn't get the result there. Stephen Burke, Lingard, yeah, exactly, Stephen. I got there in the end, mate. Yeah, so Lille, massively disappointed. Eddie McCallum Sr., always respect the boys from Wankdorf. Lesson learned now, mate. Lesson learned. No one else will be going to Wankdorf and taking it easy there, that's for sure, mate. And then another game with a red card, believe it or not. Villarreal, Atalanta. So, ex-Arsenal guy messes up here. Coquelin gets sent off, 84th minute. Ends up 2-2 though. Decent enough game. Yeah, I've only seen highlights of that game. I didn't watch much of it. But, yeah, I mean, what's that? The first 4 games we've just talked about? Let me have a look. Let me check my notes. 2 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so we talked about 4 games. All 4 of those games had a red card at some point in that game. Absolutely crazy. Chelsea Zenit, 1-0. To be fair, I don't feel like I wasn't too happy with the game. It sort of didn't feel like we left second gear. Zenit did make it tough. We didn't get a lot of clear-cut chances. But as a Chelsea fan, I was a little bit disappointed. I know we got the win, and I'm happy that we got the win. But at Stamford Bridge, I was hoping for a bit more of a show. The goal was sensational. As Peliqueta crosses in, Lukaku header, bang. So Lukaku, 4 goals in 4 games. Can't complain. And it was the only clear-cut opportunity he got, and he scored it. But I was a bit disappointed with this, I've got to be honest. I thought we could have done much more. It didn't feel like to me that we went out all guns blazing. We sort of looked like we took it a little bit easy on Zenit, which was disappointing. I certainly hope that's the case, because if we're going to struggle against Zenit, it's going to be a long campaign. Malmo Juventus. Stephen Burke, Lukaku, recruit of the year. For Chelsea, absolutely. So far, you can't deny it. I mean, I don't know if you saw Saul's debut for us against Villa, or my post about that, but the man looked like he was doing everything he could to get Villa an equaliser in that first half. He got pulled for Jorginho in the second half. Completely different game. And I've been vocal before about not being Jorginho's biggest fan sometimes, but to be fair to him, he's in the form of his life at the moment, and as soon as he came on, absolutely changed the game. So, can't deny that influence. So, he's got some adapting to do, which is to be expected coming from another league. But Lukaku, 4 goals in 4 games, what can you say? He's debut, if you like, or his second debut for the club, scores a goal. His first game at Stanford, back at Stamford Bridge, scores 2. And then goes and scores against Zenit in a game where we were really, to be honest, we were really struggling to get good chances. The difference is, Stephen, between him this time now and last year, Lukaku gets 1 chance, he takes it. Werner gets 4 or 5 chances and misses them. And that's why we weren't getting the results last year. We've got a striker now, he just needs 1 good chance, and 9 times out of 10, he's going to put it in the net. And the other thing it gives us, from a coaching point of view, here we go, some coach chat. So I don't know if you've watched any of our games, Stephen. I'll talk to you and Eddie if you're listening as well. From my point of view as a coach, what he has given us as well is a quick release. So when we're trying to play out of the back, which everyone's trying to do, we're trying to play out the back. And I'm for that. I'm all for playing out of the back. I personally think that's what you should do. Because every time you kick the ball long, in my opinion, you're kicking to a 50-50 at best. So I'm all for playing out of the back. But when you're under pressure, there's a time to send it. And Lukaku gives us that out. We just hit him. His hold-up play is amazing. He's strong. He's not going to get pushed off it. He just makes himself big, brings the ball down, holds it up, and he lets our midfield get involved from there. So we can try and play out of the back. If it's not working, we can hit Lukaku up top. We didn't have that before either. So not only for his goal scoring is he a massive improvement for us, but also for those little things he does as well in the hold-up play and giving us time to progress up the pitch. As a coach, that's invaluable. Personally, that's how I see it. But yeah, I don't know if you've seen any of our games since we've had him back, but that's the difference he makes for me. Yeah, Juventus, really good result. Go away to Malmo, 3-0. I mean, they should be going away and winning at Malmo, to be fair. There's a lot of talks about Juventus making Dybala the new head honcho, new old head honcho. Now Ronaldo's gone, building that team back around him. Morata will be happy. He's gone there. He's back into scoring again. He gets a goal. Dybala scores and Sandro scores. So a pretty routine game for Juventus. They dominated the possession, dominated the game. Pretty comfortable win for them. And they're one of the teams I was saying that I can imagine would be getting pretty close to the final. Eddie McCallum Senior, Edison Edouard will score at least 20. Best buy of the league for a number 9. Eddie, absolutely good shout. Absolutely quality shout. Comes on. Actual record. He set the record for the fastest debut goal ever. 28 seconds into his debut, bangs in a goal. Wasn't the prettiest goal, but a proper striker's goal. Touch, bang, easy. Absolutely killer goal. Backs up with a second as well. Quality signing. Celtic will be spewing they couldn't hold on to him. And I was saying it before he left. He's a quality striker. He's an absolutely quality striker. He will do very well. And he was a big reason that they looked a lot better this week. 100%. I'd imagine he'd be starting. You'd imagine he's earned himself a start this weekend. Stephen Birch, he's a good target man and he knows where to get into the box. So does Palace's new recruit Edouard. Yep, there we go. We were just talking about him. He was a massive improvement for Palace. There's no denying that. And yeah, as for Lukaku, that's what I do like about him. He'll hold up, play off, and as soon as he plays off, he'll roll around that defender and take off into the box. Does my head in trying to coach the juniors to do that. I've harassed my strikers in juniors. Lay the ball off, turn and go. Lay the ball off, turn and go. Trying to get juniors to do it, absolute nightmare. But he does it very, very well. Probably the biggest result, though, from the Champions League, apart from United, is PSG only managing a draw against Club Brugge. And here's an interesting stat. I looked this up because I remember from watching the parts of the game I got to watch, it seemed like Bruges were having all the shots. So here's a stat attack for you. Shots. Club Brugge, 16. PSG, only 9. Shots on target. Club Brugge, 7. PSG only managed to get 4 on target. So PSG dominated possession, no doubt about that. But Club Brugge, all that money they've spent, Messi coming in, surely 1-1 at Club Brugge is not good enough. Surely. Absolutely shocking result. Really shocking result for a team that, as I've said before, anything short of winning the Champions League this year would be a failure for them. The money they've spent. Liverpool pulled off a great escape, didn't they? Who watched that game? Liverpool-Milan. Liverpool got up, AC Milan pegged them back and then went ahead 2-1. And then Liverpool pull it back, and I've got to say, for that, most of you will know I'm not a massive fan of Liverpool by any stretch of the imagination. And Henderson, I mean, he's good. He's a very good player. I'm not saying he's not a very good player. I just don't think he's as good as he's made out to be. But holy cow, man. The Henderson's half volley, proper world-class strike. Absolutely insane. And it only gets better when you watch it in slow motion. I mean, when I first saw it at live speed, I was like, holy crap, that's a killer goal. And then when they showed it in slow motion with the way the ball was spinning and where it bounced and all that sort of stuff, crazy. Absolutely crazy. Insane goal. And Liverpool pull through for the win. Stephen, too many of our juniors want to score goals from outside the box and don't make the runs into the box. Yeah, Steve, to a degree, I agree. I personally, as a coach, I don't want to take that away from them too much either, though, because one of my biggest peeves with modern football is this passing the ball into the goal. I don't know why we do it. Too many passes and touches in the box and trying to make these pretty little combinations to walk the ball into the net. If you're 20 yards out, 25 yards out, and the shot's on, have a go. Have a go. It just gives the defence more to think about. So, to a degree, I agree with you. Especially in juniors, you do see them pulling off some shots that you're just like, why would you even bother there? But one of my pet peeves with modern football is the whole pass the ball into the goal. I'm a fan of possession, controlled possession, holding the ball, working the ball to create chances. But that doesn't mean you don't shoot from distance. And I think a lot of coaches, especially in Australia from what I've seen, just pass for the sake of passing. And it's not effective possession, in my opinion. Henderson cracking goal. Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a game with another red card. Man City Leipzig, 6-3, 9 goals and a red card in the Champions League. Let's talk about that for a second. Top tier of competition, 9 goals and a red card in one game. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Here's the one I feel sorry for. Is it Nkunku? I can't say his name properly, so do forgive me for my pronunciation. But the Leipzig striker scores a hat-trick and loses. How often does that happen? Anyone in chat, can you tell me the last time you remember a player scoring a hat-trick in the losing team? Not the draw, the losing team. Scoring a hat-trick and losing the game. He must be absolutely peeved. He could do not much more. And all his goals were decent too. Let's have a chat about that. I mean, City are missing a striker. He's just put a pretty decent advert on himself, hasn't he, really? I don't know if anyone's seen this game and seen his goals. Quality. Absolutely quality. Good in the air, good with his feet. If I'm City, I go and knock on Leipzig's door. Need a striker. Can we have your boy, please? But City come through. 6-3 winners. De Bruyne, massive influence on the game. It's good to see him back on the pitch. He played really well. Grealish played really well. Ake got a goal. Bit of a sad story here. Ake got a goal. His dad saw it. A couple of minutes later, his dad passed away. He's been battling illness. So just a few minutes after Ake scores, his dad passed away, which was a bit sad. He put up a post about that online. But yeah, City played really well. Got a 6-3 win. Obviously, defensively, not amazing, but they go out and get the result. But yeah, for me, City needs to go and buy that Nkunku, dude. He was sensational. And that's your challenge. Who's the last player to score a hat trick and lose the game? I can't. I'm trying to think. I can't remember the last time I remember. I can't remember seeing that at that level. And the final game, Ajax slapping Sporting, which I'll be honest was a bit of a surprise because I thought Sporting were a decent enough club. I would have said, if you'd have said to me before the start of the Champions League, Ajax and Sporting, I would have had them on a fairly even kill. Ajax probably the slightly better team, but Ajax to go out and smash them 5-1 was a bit of a surprise for me personally. You might disagree, but Ajax go out and get a really good result there. So that's the Champions League roundup. So hang on, let me just recap on the red cards there. Give me a sec. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 16 games. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 16 games, 6 red cards. Refs are on one. Crazy. And then, yeah, like I said, the crazy results. Young Boys beating United 2-1. I missed a game. I missed a couple of games. What am I doing? Sorry, my notes jumped ahead. Bayern, Barcelona, absolute slapping at Nou Camp. Bayern slapped Barcelona 3-0. And, wow, how the mighty have fallen. Lewandowski gets a double. Muller scores in that game. And in pretty much every stat category, Bayern with a better team. I can't believe I forgot to talk about that. Stephen Birch, Barcelona Benfica is going to be a huge game for Barcelona if they lose. Yeah, I mean, they shouldn't, but having said that, I mean, Dinamo Kiev and Benfica go out for a draw. So technically, Bayern are bottom of the group right now. If Benfica, and I believe Benfica are more than capable of doing it, even if Benfica get a draw against Barcelona, Barcelona have got some work to do. So, not a good start. Not a good start for Barcelona because even losing 3-0 in that short group stage, losing 3-0, that goal difference might even come back to bite them later on in the competition. Bago, Evan, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Barca was my fave team. Not that great then. Not that great. Bayern absolutely dismantled them. Eddie McCullum Sr. Celtic 2-0 up away to Betis and Ange still attacks, lose 4-3. Great game of football. Was it 4-3 or 4-2? I thought it was 4-2, Eddie. Would you have done anything differently, Eddie? Did you think Ange went with the right approach when you guys were 2-0 up? Dortmund beat Besiktas 2-1. Haaland scores again. Jude Bellingham, 18 years old. Jude Bellingham's just broken the record for the youngest player to score in consecutive Champions League games. I think he beat it by a week, so not by much. He took it off of Mbappe. So Jude Bellingham, 18 years old, youngest player to score in consecutive Champions League games. Haaland, as I said, bangs in another one as well. Dortmund get a 2-1 win there. Another one that surprised me. Here we go. Sheriff beating Shakhtar Donetsk. Shakhtar are generally a pretty decent team. Eddie McCallum Sr. definitely, mate. We were playing 6 junior players. You can only do what you can do then, mate, at the end of the day. But yeah, Sheriff coming out and winning 2-0 against Shakhtar. And the standout I've put in my notes here, Shakhtar had 75% of the possession, 20 shots, only 3 on target. 75% possession and 20 shots, and they lose 2-0. That's crazy. Absolutely crazy. So Shakhtar, pressure's on for them. Real Madrid, 1-0 win against Inter Milan. I'm not surprised that was a tight game. Um, so, Inter Milan, I think I think they'll come good. I don't think. I mean, Shakhtar I thought was going to cause problems, but if they're losing to Sheriff, I don't think they will. So I think Real Madrid and Inter will quite comfortably move out of that group now. And was Ralph playing for them? uh, Mate, I tell you what, Eddie, if Ralph trained, he would be a sensational striker. I mean, he's already a very good striker for his age, don't get me wrong. He's playing senior football at a young age. But if that boy committed to training, he could be an absolute baller. Absolute baller. And that's it. I think we've got everyone now. I think I've. Hang on. Let me just. Oh, no. Atletico Porto, another red card. Here we go. Another red card in the 95th minute, so it was pretty much inconsequential. But Porto get a red card against Atletico. And this is another game. Atletico 0-0 with Porto at home. What's going on there? I'm not saying Porto are a bad team, but Atletico should be going and winning that game, surely. Interesting. Has anyone got a player that scored a hat trick and lost yet? Anyone come up with something for that? But yeah, there's our Champions League roundup. We've done our Premier League preview. Steve, I promised I'd get back to Wolves, didn't I? So as I was saying before a while ago, Remy, watch out for Ajax Amsterdam. Yeah, we were just talking about that, Remy. That 5-1 win, absolute slapping. And as I was saying, I don't think Sporting are that bad. I didn't think Sporting were that bad a team. So very interesting. Very interesting result. It's a little bit ominous, to be fair. It is a little bit ominous. Eddie McCullum Senior, hate Porto. Fair enough, mate. Plenty of people do. Yeah, so Remy, maybe you can answer this one. Player that scored a hat-trick and still lost the game. We're talking about the City game and how unfortunate Nkaku was to score a hat-trick and still lose. Is there anyone else you can think of? I'm trying to think. I can't remember anyone off the top of my head. A hat-trick and still losing the game. That's rough. Anyway, Stephen, Wolves played well. Good win against Watford. And as I was saying, when you look at the fixtures you guys have had, that's probably the first game you can come into as a Wolves fan and expect results in comparison to the teams you played before that. And you come out against a team you should be fighting against and getting a good result. So I think coming into this weekend's game, same deal. A team that I think Wolves should be getting a win against. I think you guys will back that up. Yeah, I think you'll get another win this weekend. I think, like I said, the first time you're expected to go and get a result, you did. I think you can do it again this weekend, 100%. Stephen Birch, good win for Wolves. Scrappy goals, but we'll take them. Bruno Ball is exciting to watch, and how he now has a variety off the bench. Yeah, 100%, Steve. And I think again, another win this weekend. Remy, I have no idea, Dino. Wow, interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go do some research. I honestly can't think of the last time I remember seeing or hearing of a striker at that level scoring a hat-trick and then going on to lose a game. It must be a seriously rare occasion. I'll look into that one and we'll talk about that in the future. But for those of you that just joined us, I can see we've got quite a few people watching now, which is always good. If you're not in the chat, jump in the chat, give us a like, share. If you're on YouTube, subscribe, all that good stuff. But I want to interact. I've covered most of the stuff I want to cover. If there's anything you want to rediscuss, pop it in the chat. Happy to go over things again. And for those of you that missed the start of the show, so a couple of things we've got going on, and the reason I had a bit of time off is I've been working on getting a co-host on. We're pretty close to getting that over the line. I'm going to have a bit of a meeting with him over, obviously, camera, FaceTime or something like that. Going to have a bit of a meeting with him after the AFL Grand Final, and we'll have a bit of a chat, but it looks like he's keen to come on board, so I should have a co-host soon, which will be really good. He's sort of across leagues that I'm not across as much, like Bundesliga, for example. I don't mind the Bundesliga. I'm just not as into it as I am the Premier League. So yeah, that's good news. A bit more knowledge and a bit more variety in what we can cover, which is good. And yeah, so that'll be a really good addition to the show. If you can see up here, have a look at this. I've got a viewer on Twitch. Twitch is working. Boom. That's another big win. That has been doing my head in. So we're live on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook now, which is awesome. So we can start, hopefully, we can start growing this community. And these interviews I've got lined up, I've got some higher end coaches in Europe and around the world that are willing to come on and chat. But I want to have a bigger, engaging community, so I don't look silly. Getting someone, for example, I've got someone in the Chelsea Academy. More than happy to come on and have a chat. I'm going to look a bit silly having him on with 7 people. But yeah, so co-host, interviews, pretty much ready to go. A lot of this technical stuff now is starting to get worked out, with the exception of me starting this show and my mic not working for the first 10 minutes, which was a bit awkward. But anyway, technical stuff, we're getting there on that. And also, I've signed up personal, outside of football, I have signed up to do Run for Autism. I haven't run in forever, right? So I'm running 10 kilometers for autism. So for those of you that don't know, my son Tyler, he has autism. So it's very close to my heart. So I'm doing a Run for Autism in end of October, start of November. If you're able to, you can support that down in the description. There should be a link down in the description, Run for Autism. And even if you can't afford to support financially, just sharing that link around and sharing the message basically is a massive help as well. Because autism is one of those very misunderstood things, and the more people know about it, the better. So all money raised, I don't see a dollar. It'll go straight to Autism Foundation Australia. I think that's their name. I hope I haven't got that wrong. But yeah, so if you're keen on that, down in the description, you should see a link for Run for Autism. Where are we? Chat. Wikipedia states there are 4 players who scored a hat-trick in a losing team but have not found them yet. That's an interesting one, Stephen. 4 players. Evan, co-host hype. Holy hype. Yeah, it should be really good, Evan. I'm keen on that. Remy, Jurgen Klopp as a co-host. I would love to know who came on as Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I don't know if any of you guys were on that show, but someone made an Ole Gunnar Solskjaer YouTube account and was on here chatting away, which was it was a good laugh. I enjoyed that. Evan, Twitch, well done. Yeah, finally, man. That was doing my head in. Stephen Birch, 4 players have scored hat-tricks and still ended up on the losing side. Matt Letizia twice. Whew, Matt Legod. Dion Dublin and Roxanta Cruz and Dwight York. 1, 2, 3. Oh, yeah, I get you. Yeah, well, there you go. That's an interesting stat. You can make that 5 now. You can make that 5. 5 players. So he's just joined a very elusive club. Probably not one he wants to join, but there you go. Eddie McCullum Sr., is that a 10K a day? Great work, mate. It's a good question, Eddie. My understanding is I don't know. I'll give it a crack. I've raised more than my target already, so I will try to. And again, I literally, legitimately, I haven't run in a couple of years comfortably. So here's my promise, Eddie, especially seeing as your donation was as generous as it was, I will try to do, because I'm pretty sure it's from the 31st of October to the 7th of November. So I will push to do as many Ks over 10K as I can over those 7 days. We'll see how we go. Andrew, what do you think of the derby between Arsenal and Spurs on the weekend? Am I losing my mind, Andrew? I thought Chelsea were playing Spurs this weekend. Give me a minute. Let me double check my notes. I was sure it was Chelsea-Tottenham this weekend. Let's have a quick look here. I've got to find my spot in my notes again now. Give me a sec. Yeah, Andrew, it's Chelsea-Tottenham this weekend. Arsenal are against Burnley. Thought I was going crazy for a second there. So, Arsenal-Burnley, Andy, and Chelsea-Tottenham. Chelsea, if Tottenham play like they did against Palace, Chelsea will pants Tottenham. And I honestly think Burnley are going to beat Arsenal. I'm calling it now. I think Burnley will beat Arsenal. Maybe like 1-0. I don't think it'll be massive, but I think Burnley are going to beat Arsenal. Arsenal look like they struggle against physical teams. Burnley are exactly that. Sean Dyche knows what he's doing. I think Burnley are going to go get a result. If I'm going to run more than 10 kilometres, I need to start putting these down. But I've got a few weeks to get myself into some sort of shape. So we'll see how we go. Yeah, so that's what's going on. Co-hosts, interviews. I'm running for some crazy reason. I don't know how far I'll get. We'll see. I might get around the corner and just have a cardiac, but we'll give it a go, guys. We will give it a go. And yeah, where are we at? We've been going for an hour and a half. I, unfortunately, have been sucked into working tomorrow morning. So I will start to wrap up the show shortly. But it's been really good being back on here, guys. I hope everyone's doing well. For those of you that didn't hear the great news, we're allowed to go on picnics now if we've been vaccinated. Woohoo! 6 reasons to leave home in Victoria. You can go on a picnic. Get excited. But yeah, so Eddie, don't run too far as you need to run back, mate. It's a very good point, Eddie. It's a very good point. Well, I mean, worst case scenario, I'll call the wife and tell her I've collapsed somewhere and she can come and get me. Nah, we should be right. We should be right. Here's a funny story for you, actually, Eddie. So on this subject, when I did my refereeing course, start of this year, I went and did my refereeing course, got it all done. I'm officially a referee. Woohoo! Exciting. But yeah, so I was running around doing my thing, and they're like, "Oh, you have to go and ref a game, blah blah blah." So I go to my first game to ref, and you get a mentor to come to your first. Supposed to come to your first 2 games, but I only had one come to my first game. And for some reason, no more after that. But anyway, so I'm reffing. It was an under 14. It was an under 14s game, I think it was. I get dressed, get ready to go, do my thing, ref the game, run around. Feedback's all good. We get back into the change room, and the mentor goes, "Oh, I've got to be honest. When I had a look at you when you turned up, I thought there's no way this guy's going to run out 90 minutes. But you did all right. You did really well, and you got a good sprint speed for your size." I was like, that's a backhanded compliment if I've ever heard one. Basically, you're a fat bloke, but you move all right. So I've still got a little bit of power in the legs. We'll see how we go. Distance has never really been my thing, though. I should say that. Sprinting was more my thing. Andy, where did you do your refereeing course? At the Knox. What's it called? Knox. You know, the synthetic pitch at Knox, down in like the basketball stadium and that. I did it there. So yeah, so I'm officially a ref. So I can add that to my list of everything else I've done in football, which is most things now. There's not a lot I haven't done in football, which is good. Andrew, I need to do that as well. Yeah, I mean, for a bit of insight for you, Andrew, I literally just did it because I'm obsessed with football. I want to know as much about football as I can. So I went and did my course. And they actually asked me on the course, "Why are you here?" I'm like, just for more knowledge. That's it. I'm not overly interested in being a referee long term. I'll probably do. I don't even know if I'll ref another game. We'll see. I'm not overly excited by it. It was good fun. I enjoyed it, and I was lucky enough. I only had positive experience refereeing. I didn't have any people having a go at me or any of that sort of stuff. So my experience as a ref has been very positive, and I've enjoyed it. But it's not what I'm passionate about. I just did it to say that I've got that knowledge, and to see that game from a different perspective, and see what the refs go through and all that sort of stuff. But if it's something you want to do just to expand your knowledge, 100% go and do it. If it's something you're passionate about and you want to ref, go and do it. For the most part, everyone I dealt with was really good. And for the most part, because there's such a shortage of refs, everywhere I went, they were really happy to see me. So it was good. Eddie McCullum Senior, mate, have a good night. Going down to the club tomorrow with Junior for a kick if you're up for it. Great work, mate. What time are you going, Eddie? Before you shoot off, let me know what time you're going. And depending on what happens with work, if I finish work and you're there, I'll come down for sure. So yeah, give us a shout. Let me know what time. Remy, good to see the game from that perspective. Yeah, it was, Remy. It was, and I'll be the first to admit I've paid out on a lot of refs. I really have, and I'm not going to lie to you and tell you that doing the referee course has made that any better. If anything, it's made it worse, because I now, as a ref, I try and ref how I would like to be refed as a player. That's how I try to act, and so now I've been a ref. It annoys me more when I see referees just being rude. It really winds me up. But anyway, that's a different conversation. Eddie, about 2 p.m, mate. All right, well, what I'll do, Eddie, is I'll take my boots to work, and I'll just, straight from work, I'll come down. And I'll see you down there. Andy, thanks, Dean. No worries, Andy. It's absolutely anything you can do, Andy, to expand your knowledge in the game. Whether or not, like I said, for me, I knew I was never going to pursue refereeing long term. I was never going to go out and, boom, I'm a referee. I'm a coach, mate. That's what I am. That's what I want to do. But just for the experience and the knowledge, whatever you do is always going to be beneficial. Absolutely. Alrighty. I think we'll start to wrap it up, guys. I think I'll better get off and have some dinner, and get to bed so I can get up for work, and then meet Eddie down at the pitch so he can massacre me, no doubt. We'll see. Remy, yes, so did I. I must say I have changed that part of me. One person looking after, say, let's say 25 players, officials, and then spectators. Respect to them. Yeah, so, for that, to be fair, Remy, for that part, I've got more respect for the referees, 100%. I suppose my point was more when I see a referee being poor, a poor referee, and when I say poor referee, poor attitude, or the way they speak to people is poor, that winds me up even more now. And then they'll turn around and go, oh, you can't criticise me, I'm a referee. So am I, mate. And I'm telling you, as a referee, your behaviour is poor. I think, personally, we need to see more of that. I think we, as referees, need to hold each other accountable a lot more. I see too much. I hear it. I hear, because now I know a few of the referees around the place. I hear referees talking about how they didn't really approve of how another referee did this or that and whatever else, and what they would do in that situation. Go and talk to that ref, because if the referee is going to listen to anyone, it's another referee. There's not, honestly, I'm telling you, there is not enough accountability on referees. There's not. And I've done the course and I've ref games. There's not enough accountability. Andy Kamenu, sorry for being a pain. How much did the course cost you? Andy, absolutely nothing. Because they were so short on referees, they basically just said the first 200 people to apply, I think it was 200, free. Come and do the course for nothing. So, bang, did it. Stephen Burks, thanks Dean, have a great weekend. You too, Steve. Good luck to the Wolves. Remy, yeah, agree. How long is the course? So there's two parts of the course. There's the online part. That took way longer than it needed to. So for the online course, you've got to watch all these videos and go over all the laws of the game and all that sort of stuff, which I understand. But there's quite a lot of repetition, which I guess for some people is good because they need that to learn. For me, I've got a sort of short-term photographic memory. When I've seen something, it's there. I can then go do the test. I'm going to be fine. I don't need to be spoon-fed the information 5 times. That switches me off. I lose interest, and then I just don't retain the information. Personally, that's how I work. So what I found myself doing was, once I'd read all the stuff I needed to read and watched the videos that I wasn't as sure on, all the videos I did have to watch, and the biggest pain is you can't skip through these videos. When you try to skip through the timeline, it drags you straight back to where you were. So you literally have to watch every video in full, and it will be like a slide that you read, and each slide will be up for what seems like an eternity for me. So what I found myself doing was literally whatever video I went through to the test straight away, answered all the questions, passed the test, but you can't pass until you've got a tick that you've watched all the videos. So I went and passed all the tests online, and then I was putting the video on, and I was going away and playing FIFA, or I was going away and having dinner while the video was playing, and then I was just coming back and changing the video over. But that took a few hours, 3-4 hours of online stuff, and then it's like a 1-day course. You go down there, I think it was, again, 3 or 4 hours, and you just do some whistle blowing. Believe it or not, one of the things they cover is blowing whistles, showing your card, picture markings, all that sort of stuff. So you do it like an in-person day course, so for 3 or 4 hours off the top of my head. So all up, 7-8 hours, 3 or 4 of it online, 3 or 4 of it in person. Bang, you're a referee. You got a green shirt program, so you're supposed to have a mentor for your first 2 games. But yeah, from there on, you go out and ref. I think it's like maybe your 10th game. You're supposed to have a mentor back out to assess. But it doesn't take long. It doesn't take long at all. And they're so desperate for referees at the moment. If you're looking for something to do, give it a crack. I mean, so for you, Remy, I know you coach. I was reffing Friday, Saturday, Sunday morning, coaching Sunday afternoon, where I could. If I didn't feel like it, or I felt like it was too much, or my game was earlier in the day or whatever, you've got a lot of say over that. You can just reject the game. Sorry, I can't do that game. But yeah, that's what I was doing. So, and yeah, like I said, for me, it was a mostly positive experience. In fact, it was an all positive experience. I can't remember a negative experience while I was reffing. Ooh, that's not the right one. Anyway, any more questions before I head off? We will start to wrap it up. I know there's a bit of a delay, so I'm going to put my Be Right back screen on so that everyone can get all the info before I head off. But yeah, thanks for the info. No worries at all, Remy. Thanks for coming in and chatting again, man. It's really good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, we'll start to wrap it up. So, obviously, guys, little spill at the end. Everyone's going through a hard time at the moment, especially with lockdowns and stuff like that. So, if you are struggling, please don't feel like you're alone. Reach out. You can reach out to me, reach out to your mates, family, whatever it is. And don't be ashamed to get professional help if you need it. Speaking from experience, I never thought I needed it. My missus convinced me to go get it, and it worked wonders. It worked absolute wonders. Just to help me understand why I was feeling the way I was feeling made a massive difference. So in these tough times, difficult times, if you need help, reach out and check on your mates. Yeah, just shoot a message. Hey man, haven't chatted for you a while. How you doing? Check in on people. It's going to make the difference because it's a tough time. things aren't going so well in the mental health department at the moment. So it's really important we pull together, guys. Thank you for all your support. Much love to you all. Thanks for liking the stream, Remy. Good night, bro. Good night, Evan. Thanks for coming along, mate. Good to see you again. Hope you're keeping well. But yeah, guys, pull together, help each other out, and let's get through this together. Thank you very much. Catch you next time.